Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay, this is going to be a midday reading. It's an afternoon delight, much more than a quickie by the Bay. I'm on my lunch break at work, and I really felt compelled to do this reading. I could certainly save it for tonight, but again, I'm feeling compelled to read on it now. I'm not sure why, but I'm just going to roll with it. So a viewer pointed out last night that Trump's $175 million bond was rejected. And I couldn't find any stories on that. Well, they're all on the news now. Okay, so what happened? Donald Trump did post up a $175 million bond using a bond company called Knight Specialty Insurance Company. But when Knight Specialty Insurance Company posted this bond, they didn't include all the paperwork they were supposed to include in it. And this paperwork basically shows that this company is going to be solvent and it's not using like more than 10% of its income to do this or its value. Letitia James stated, this is going to be a longer intro, about a 5-minute intro here to get all the facts down. So we're all starting from the same spot. Letitia James objected to the fact that the bond was issued by a company that's not an admitted carrier in New York, lacks the certification of qualification required by New York insurance law section 1111. There's an angel number for you. So the Attorney General gave Trump, the company or Trump 10 days to file a motion justifying that the bond is adequate or the bond will have no effect. So Trump's back on the clock again. He has 10 days to resolve this or else he could be right back where he was a few weeks ago. An attorney who was in this article from NBC, or CBS News, excuse me, said there seems to be some serious issues. In all the years he's been doing bonds, you have to have a certificate from the Department of Financial Services saying you're licensed to issue a surety bond. He also noted that Knight Specialty is not listed in the New York's Department of Financial Services website. The company refiled its posting as directed by the clerk. So the clerk rejected it and the company refiled it. But there were still more things that needed to be corrected. Adam Pollack, who's a former assistant attorney general in New York, said this bond's deficient for a number of reasons, including that the company doesn't appear to be licensed in New York, doesn't appear to have enough capital for the undertaking. That's an interesting one. And the company does not appear to meet a restriction under New York insurance law, barring companies from putting more than 10% of its capital at risk. So the company has to show that it has the money to cover this. So if you're putting up $175 million bond, you have to show that you have $2 billion in equity. That's your 10%, or $1.75 billion if you were. Knight Insurance is arguing that they're not a New York domestic insurer, and therefore the insurance laws of solvency don't apply to them. That's not exactly a strong argument. Don Henke, who's the chairman behind Knight Insurance, is a legitimate billionaire from what I was hearing on Midas Touch. And Henke was the one that Trump used cash as collateral for a bond of $175 million. Which, again, according to Midas Touch, makes no sense because if you've got the money, why would you pay the fee to have a bond company put it up when you could put it up yourself? It gets put in an account and you're an interest on it. So it's not like the money goes away and you're not collecting interest on it. Let's see, anything else? The Knight says they're compliant. For court bonds as regulated by the CLPR, the law is pretty clear about in-state license requirements, who noted that surety bonds used in other industries like construction would not object to that rule. If Knight Specialty does not have Trump's cash collateral for the bond in its possession, Lederman questioned whether the company could or would pay immediately if Trump loses his appeal. So there's the problem. You have to have that money so that you could pay the appeal. And Pollack was additionally saying this is where the Attorney General has their pushback. Knight's updated filing includes a financial statement showing the company's surplus to its policyholders is $1 billion and a joint limited power of attorney signed by Henke and Shaw. So that was the other thing. They had to have a power of attorney. So, okay, so we're 5 minutes into it, like I was guessing. What does this all mean? This insurance company posted up a bond, but they don't have all the certifications in place to even do it in the first place. But if they can get around that, there's requirements that they have to have the capital to actually back up this bond. And I'm really, really curious about this. I want to find out, because what if the money that Trump's putting up is coming from overseas, or there's backdoor payments to this company to get that. Now they have to show financials to back up that they can do this. If there's shady stuff going on in the background, and with Trump there's always shady stuff going on in the background, it's going to be exposed by this. And that's what I want to read on. Okay? So come on down. Let's see what we got going on. What's the whole deal now, Spirit, with this Knight Insurance Company putting up Trump's bond? Is there shadiness going on? Can you give us some background of what's going on here? Page of Pentacles. Okay, so here's the bond company coming in, offering to put up that bond for Donald J. Trump, crossed with the dark money in the background. Yep, there's shady stuff going on in the background. Now, I could say, oh yeah, they're just negotiating and doing stuff like that. Dark money. There's dark money back here. And on the surface, everything looks fine. But if you start digging, you're going to find stuff. And that was the other part I wanted to bring up. Barbara Jones is still overseeing Trump.org. So she has an idea of what the finances are looking like and how things are going around. And she might have some financial insights going on to this. So not only do you have Barbara Jones overseeing Trump.org, I think this is the investigation into this. Letitia James and folks start digging in and looking at the money and where the money is being sourced from. And with Donald Trump, nothing is ever on the up and up. Because there he is. In the past, Donald Trump, the devil, and people making deal with the devil. The guy, Mr. Hanky, howdy-ho, who's working with Donald Trump here, is a MAGA person. He's been a Trump supporter for years. So he's obviously found somebody who's sympathetic to his cause. But how many people have done favors for Trump and they just get burned? Donald Trump's here again in the past, needing help, and people volunteering themselves to make a deal with the devil, as it were. And it's like, honestly, what do you think is going to happen? You tied up with him. If you're doing any shady stuff, it's going to be exposed because people are looking really closely. Current situation is the King of Cups. I do not believe this would be a Joe Biden card. I think this is the judge. This is going to be Judge Engoron looking at this, or the appeals court. But this is going to be the judge. It's got to be Engoron. Judge Engoron in his court looking at this. If everything's on the up and up, everything's on the up and up. But we need to investigate and ask some questions and see what's going on here. Or at least whoever is overseeing it. I'll just put this as a Judge Engoron. Overarching energy is the Strength card. Mastery. There's a proper way of doing things. This doesn't mean this company doesn't have the money. This company could certainly qualify for it. But one of the strengths of a judge and a district attorney and the legal process is that they're usually really good at investigating stuff. It's kind of their jam, you know what I mean? So you don't want to be pulling shady stuff with these folks. And when you're with this guy, you're pulling shady stuff. Again, underneath it, High Priestess, asking questions, getting answers. Whatever happens out of this, the truth is going to be exposed. If this money's legit, this money is legit. Okay? We'll just have to deal with it as much as we want Trump to go flushing down the toilet like that last turd. We want... Whatever's going to happen out of this is legit. If you're a big Trumper and you happen to be watching this, if this money is cleared, it's legitimate money. But also accept the fact that if it's not cleared, because it's not legitimate and they found stuff. They're looking, they will find. Of course. Outcome, 7 of Swords. Not legitimate money. Absolutely not legitimate money. Somebody's trying to get away with something here. With this card in the lesson to be learned, and the Strength card here, underneath with the High Priestess, if there's shenanigans going on, it is going to be caught, And right now, I am of the opinion that there are shenanigans going on. Which now is going to lead to this next question. Will this deal between Knight Specialty Insurance posting a bond for Donald Trump fall through? Because that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like this lifeline that was thrown to him, the minute it's put under scrutiny, they are either going to withdraw. If Knight Specialty Insurance knows that everything's being looked at scrutinized closely, their smartest play is to withdraw if it's not on the up and up and legit. And I think the wild card here is that do not be surprised if the intelligence agencies play a minor role in all this. Whether it's the FBI or not so much the CIA, but it could be the CIA, but mostly the FBI playing a role in this. Watching how money is moving around when Trump needs money. Don't be surprised for a moment that they don't track things and are trying to understand how the jetties and the streams feed into the river and where the river goes and who's taking water out of that river and turning it into cash. I think this is a lot bigger that we've got going on. It would be wild if the appeals court, by lowering this amount, actually allowed the FBI to get a better picture as to how the money's being laundered and distributed. Again, total speculation on my part, entertainment purposes only. I've got no proof that this is laundered money or anything along those lines, other than the fact that Donald Trump just can't seem to not break the law and likes to hang out with shady characters. So, play the odds. Is this deal going to fall through? What's going to go on with this deal? Two of Swords. They're on a knife's edge. Decisions need to be made. The World card. Oh, gosh. This either means this deal's coming to an end or the money's coming from somewhere around the world. King of Pentacles. I think the company needs to make a decision because either the billionaire who is the CEO of it is going to be exposed. There's some exposure here. What I'm getting from this is there's some exposure here, and it's outside the U.S. So money coming in outside the U.S. And again, if this exposes the head of this company, he's not going to want that. You're already a billionaire. Do you need to be a billionaire that's in prison? In the past, we got the Ace of Wands. I think this is Donald Trump coming over here looking for help. And this guy's like, hey, you know what? I like Donald Trump. I've supported him. He's a billionaire. And he just got $4 billion from the sale of his stock. He'll be good for it. I can take care of this. And I think this guy volunteered for that. But I'm curious how the Pentacles are going to show up here. Current situation. Oh, it's the drunken hillbilly brawl. I don't think he expected the pushback that he just got. And now there's like a scramble to get things covered. He might have thought, this sounds really naive, and maybe it's only because I have no idea what any of this is about. He maybe just thought, okay, I just put up the $175 million and I'm a hero to Donald Trump. And now maybe I'll get some quid pro quos later on because, do a friend a favor. But I think this literally, his decision doing this has opened up a hornet's nest of activity flying around. Maybe a lot more than he was expecting. Asking if this deal is going to fall through. This is not a great card if you want a deal to go through. But there's going to be a lot of scrambling going on. Overarching energy is the burden. This is not a good card on the overhead either if you want this deal to go through. Things are going to be really tough. People are scrambling. They're trying to find answers. And I think whatever they're going to provide is going to cause for more questions. What seemed like a good idea in the past is shaping up to be a really, really lousy decision. Lesson to be learned. Knight of Pentacles. He came forward with the cash. I don't think he really understood quite what he was getting into. And this could also be, how did the cash come in? Is this really from, and there you go with Knight, is this really from that company? Or is it from somebody else, a different benefactor? Out comes the Queen of Cups. That's putting a cap on your emotions, shutting things down. Between the World card and this, I would not be surprised if this deal falls through. And it might fall through because he doesn't want to have to reveal stuff further. If the feds start getting, or if New York State starts getting too close, and maybe it could involve the feds, and I want to ask that next. The Queen of Cups. I think things are going to get shut down with this. Between that World card with things coming to an end on this, that World card's either money coming from outside the U.S. or things coming into an end, or it's both. That Queen of Cups might be a, don't you dare let people know where this money came from. No, hush, hush, it's got to be a secret type thing. This is not good energy. This is not that Three of Coins in that first spread. This is not good energy. This is shadiness. This is shenanigans going on here. I do think they're gonna back out on this. The way I'm translating this, again, that could be biased on my part, but yeah, it also puts it through the lens of my honesty and integrity. Now, if I'm not just ballsy enough that if I'm committing fraud, I'm not gonna, the minute folks start sniffing around, I'm gonna retract and get them not sniffing around my hiding spot. You know what I mean? Oh, sorry, just kidding. Sorry, Donald, can't help you. Guess we really couldn't do this after all. Mistake on our part. No hard feelings, right? Okay. Are the feds sniffing around this? Or the feds going to find anything untoward with the funding of this loan or the financing of this Knight Specialty Insurance Company? Yep, they're following the money and the agreements. They're looking at they're following the money and where the agreements, where this money came from. And again, I get a very European feeling for this. Who's gifting who the money? I think it's coming from outside the U.S. In the past, you got the Chariot. This could be connected to an ongoing investigation that they've had. This is in the past. The Chariot's about slow progress being made. It could be, again, that when this bond was put up there, they're following the money. Could be agreement between intelligence agencies, but I think they're looking at the agreement between Trump, this Knight Specialty Insurance Company, and whoever's providing the money. Current situation is the double. It's linked to Trump and shady dealings. There is shadiness here. I think the FBI is absolutely looking into it. It's probably something they were already looking into with Trump, and now they're getting more clarity as to what's going on. Who's providing the money? They're looking at the money, the enrichment, maybe the source of the money. Russian oligarchs is the first thing that comes to mind when I see that card. I think it's Russian oligarchical money. I could be wrong. Could be Saudi money, of course. But Russian oligarch money or hidden money coming in. But I think it's money from overseas. Lots of money. Other reason to believe it's Russian money. This is the 10 of coins in the list to be learned. This is DNA. No, this could be health or wealth. And the reading of money, this is going to be wealth. But this is going to be money, how Trump has gotten his money over the years. And we know that for the last 10 to 15 years, all the money's been coming from Russia. I think Russia, or Russians, not Russian oligarch, somebody looking for a friend, has been funneling money into this. Outcome is the Queen of Wands. Letitia James is going to be able to take action. I think what the information that they get is shared with Letitia James, that she can take action with it. Again, this might be getting a little bit of feel, maybe conspiracy theory-ish. Who knows if the FBI is really in contact with Letitia James. But I think really at the high level, if I may not have the specifics right, what I think is happening is they're looking at that money, they're finding the sourcing of that money, and the sourcing of that money is from wealthy donors, probably overseas donors, that have done deals with Trump in the past, and that information is being funneled back to the district attorney's office. 10 days from now and beyond, God, and think about this. They've got until like the 14th or so. The eclipse happens on the 8th. All this is happening while there is a solar eclipse going on, impacting Trump. How is Trump going to react when it's all said and done? When this investigation's done, I think I got the night. This car was kind of trying to flip up here. Yeah, that gifting. How is Trump going to react when it's all said and done? Page of Pentacles on the bottom. Was trying to stick down there. He might have to be looking for a new sugar daddy. He should be fine. He says he's got $500 million in cash. He's had all this extra time. How's Trump going to feel after this is all said and done? High Priestess. Questions are going to be asked and answered. Judgment. Okay, so we're going to have the questions of the proper questions. This was over here before. Questions asked and answered. And judgment's going to be made. Oh, Jesus. I think that deal's about to fall through. What do you think? By the way, 3 major arcana in this one. Disappointment, heartbreak, sadness. This deal's not going through. Oh, and he doesn't have the money. He's right back at square zero, and he doesn't have the money to cover it. As much as he claims he has the money to cover it, he doesn't have the money to cover it. 5, transition pictures. Justice is hanging all over him. He's got to go looking for new sources, and I think he's run out of time. At this point, he's run out of time. The justice, they may give him a little bit more time because this deal fell through, but they may not. Endings. This is it. Done. He's not going to recover from this. Tower. Look at all the major arcana on here. High Priestess, Judgment, Death card, Justice, Hermit, Tower. Good God. You couldn't, honest to God, I couldn't have made a worse spread for him on this one. Come on down. Let me explain this again. 10 days from now or so, when this is Judgment, the High Priestess, they're going to have the answers that they've been seeking for, and the judgment's going to be passed down. It's going to be the undoing of the deal. There's disappointment here, I'm assuming, with Trump, because I was asking about Trump in this one, that this deal fell through. He got caught. He's out of money, and he's out of time. Justice Department's ruling over him, and he doesn't have time to go looking for new stuff. They might give him time, but he had to struggle to get this done, and the Death card bringing this whole thing to a closure. He's run out of time. He's run out of time, and he's run out of time. All of this happening under that solar eclipse. Now, mind you, Donald Trump's self-worth is equal to his net worth, and with this fine, even if it's been reduced, it's going to be humiliating to him if he cannot post up this bond. Absolutely humiliating, because it means he's been lying and caught out lying again and again and again. And it's basically going to be irrefutable that he is a liar and he's not wealthy. He's certainly not as wealthy as he makes himself out to be. And as much as his supporters will just say it doesn't matter, it's like you can just hit him with that. It's like, he said he had $500 million. It's only $175 million bond. Why didn't he just pay it? And they're not going to have an answer for you. He shouldn't have had to. It doesn't matter. It's just what you have to do in order to prevent them from taking your stuff while you appeal. That's the other thing. Keep saying that he needs this money to appeal. No, you don't. You can appeal. Just if you don't put up the money, they're going to start taking your stuff. There's a difference. this has gone on long enough. Thank you anyways. Thank you for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. Thank you for your likes, shares, comments, everything you do to help feed the YouTube algorithm so my video makes it out to a wider audience. To folks just catching this channel recently or for the first time, welcome to the channel. I hope you found this reading insightful, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.